Dog owners of Reddit, what is a time your dog saved your skin? When I was a teenager I struggled with suicidal thoughts. My dog would always comfort me when I was upset. He saved my life. Good dog. When I was around 10 years old I was out playing in the snow. I lived in a really wooded area with a large yard. It wasn't uncommon to see deer, turkeys, groundhogs etc. in my area, and they are never hostile, usually just run away. So in the thick of a snowstorm, I was walking toward the more densely wooded area of my yard and encountered a buck. It seems huge in hindsight, almost monstrous. It lunged towards me and I yelled for my dog buddy, who came running to scare the buck off. I was so thankful. I don't really know what the buck could have done, but as a kid I was very scared and thankful for my dog's quick response. My dog Stuart saved my life when I was only 6 years old. My family owns a lot of land, and right near our house is a moderately sized river. Growing up, I would always play in and around it without issue. Well, one year, when I was only 6 years old, a pair of swans moved in nearby. We don't know where they came from, but they made their nest fairly close to where I would normally play. Now, for those of you who don't know, swans are very territorial when nesting, and very dangerous. As in, break a fully grown man's leg and seriously hospitalize him. Dangerous. This same swan did in fact do this to our neighbor a week later. I was only 6 years old. An animal that strong could have easily killed me. Well, one day I was playing down by the water as usual and this swan starts running at me out of nowhere. It was huge and much faster than I was. I tried to run away, but there was no hope for me. That is, until Stuart came in. This 1-year-old collie was the sweetest, nicest, most playful animal ever. He would never hurt a soul, or so I thought. With the swan quickly closing in on me, he grabbed it by the neck and began fighting it. They tussled for a few moments, but there was no fight to be had whilst Stuart had his jaws around this thing's neck. It eventually ran away, and both my dog and I were unharmed. He saved my life. Unfortunately, my buddy Stuart only made it to 5 years old. He developed a skin disease that couldn't be helped. He'll always be my good boy, as well as my savior. I miss you, buddy. Every damn day. If it wasn't for the fact that my boxer dog, I suffer severe heartbreak and separation anxiety, I would have ended my shit existence of a life 5 years ago. He is the greatest friend and most loyal companion I could have ever asked for. Not my dog, but my ex-boyfriend's. I was walking her at night by myself, and suddenly she started to growl and sat in front of me. A man walked over to us and asked me to use my phone, and she was getting angrier and snarling at this point, which was super out of character for her. I said no and went inside. 2 days later he was arrested for stabbing a woman in our apartment complex. Home invasion. The creep was steps away from my bedroom door, where I, female, was chilling in bed in my skivvies when my 100-pound German Shepherd went to investigate and went completely insane. He chased the dude out and then wouldn't leave my side for weeks. I lived way in the country in Colorado. My dog would run bears off/tree them literally constantly. God knows how many of them he kept away when I was just playing around outside. I kicked a ball and my shoe came off and went in the river. My golden retriever at the time knew not to touch our shoes, but he leaped into action rescuing me from an uncomfortable, rocky, and dirty walk back to the car. One of our dogs woke my wife and me up in the middle of the night once, and we were pretty upset because we thought she needed to pee. Our dog has Addison's disease, so it's a problem sometimes. Usually she would start out whining quietly, then get louder and louder until we got up to let her out, but on this night she was pretty loud and frantic. So I get up and immediately notice the house smells terrible. I go to the front and open the window, thinking it's a fire outside somewhere, but it doesn't smell bad outside. I flick on the hall light and the whole house is filled with smoke. Turns out we had a fire in our old electrical panel that filled the house with smoke. We easily could have died, and the smoke detector in our hallway didn't go off until about 5 minutes after our dog woke us up. My yellow lab, Cooper the super pooper, wouldn't let me go take a nap. He kept acting strange, shaking and walking in circles. Turns out I was having a heart attack. Another time, Cooper and I were at a swimming hole and I jumped in a shallow and broke my leg. He tugboated me to a place where I could drag myself out. He died a few years ago from tumors in the brain. I surely miss my little friend. Hi. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you want. It would definitely be appreciated. See you next time.